I've had an affair with a guy from work. Me and my husband have been married for about 7 years. He's my best friend and I love him dearly. The problem is that while we get along great and love each other, there isn't much affection or intimacy, and even when we do have sex, it's really just about him. I've tried talking to him about this. Sometimes he says he will work on it. Sometimes it's brushed off, and sometimes it leads to an argument. This has led to self-esteem issues and a lot of frustration. There is a guy at my job who would try to flirt with me. He's the supervisor of a different department. He would try to ask me out and I'd always decline and let him know I'm married. He's separated. I've never liked him. He's cocky, very full of himself. Anyway, one night after a small but irritating argument with my husband, I decided to meet with a couple friends at a karaoke bar. That supervisor happened to be there. My one friend had to take the other home due to a minor family issue. I was gonna stay for a bit because another friend was supposed to come. The supervisor asked if he could buy me a drink. I'm not much of a drinker and had already had one but said yes since he kept asking. Then had another drink. I was a bit tipsy. He kept flirting, complimenting me. One thing led to another and we ended up having sex in his truck. I sobered up quick afterwards, went home and straight to the shower. I felt beyond guilty and was so nervous. I basically avoided my husband. When I went back to work, the supervisor was smirking at me and tried to flirt. I told him that would never happen again. Later that week, me and my husband got into a huge argument, again about intimacy, and me trying and him giving zero effort. The feeling of being unwanted is terrible. Then I get a message from the supervisor asking to meet and talk. I know I shouldn't have, but I really did go with the intentions of talking it out and making it clear that this wasn't continuing. Instead, we ended up having sex at his place. This cycle continued off and on from February to August. Arguments with my husband, being unsatisfied, feeling unwanted, and the supervisor capitalizing at the right times. Obviously, this is my fault and I've regretted it all. I finally ended things with him. He still flirts, but I try to ignore it. Things still aren't going well with my husband. He hasn't agreed to couples counseling, so I don't know what to do. I know I don't want an affair. I want to remain faithful, but I also want to feel wanted. I feel stuck. I haven't told my husband. I've gotten close, but it feels like stepping off of a cliff. I don't know why I'm posting all this. I guess I just wanted to get this off my chest. I just feel stuck. I will answer whatever questions are asked. Edit. I didn't lock this so it won't allow people to comment, but regardless, I want to thank everyone for their responses and DMs. Good or bad, it's helped give me perspective. Update. You can read my original post on my page, but long story short, I have been married to my husband for 7 years. After 3 years of a nearly dead bedroom and lack of affection, I started having an affair with a guy from work. Cut it off recently and was working out how and when to confess. I want to thank everyone who commented or DM'd me. Whether it was good or bad, I appreciate the advice and criticism. It gave me perspective on what to do. So I planned on writing my husband 2 letters. One that was very detailed and one that was just straight to the point. And I would have him choose which one. I also felt I should do this after getting a new job, but I was still contemplating doing it sooner. This is where the update takes a serious turn. My husband's phone kept going off last night. He was asleep. I've never snooped through his stuff and never planned to. But it was a woman's name that popped up. So I looked, figured it might have been a family member or something. Turns out it was a chick asking if she was still gonna see him because he hadn't updated her. I was shocked. I went through all the messages. Turned out it was a 19-year-old chick that works at the Starbucks near our house. I woke him up and asked him about it. After a back and forth, he confessed. He's been seeing her for about a year. I was speechless. Then I confessed to my affair, which had started in February. He lost it, started yelling and cussing and calling me names. I said, "Did you forget about what you just confessed to?" He said, "I don't care," and kept yelling. I started laughing uncontrollably, to the point that he just stared at me. I was laughing and then started crying uncontrollably and screamed, "F you. F you for making me beg all this time." Then I caught myself somehow. I went and took a long shower, then I got dressed. He asked me if we could talk. I said yes when I get back. I left, went to Starbucks, got my drink and asked if the girl was in. She said yes and got her. I said, "So you've been sleeping with my husband?" She was speechless. I said, "I'm not mad at you. You're young. But that's a dangerous game to play and it's not worth it. If you've ever been to my house, please never do so again. But again, I'm not mad at you, okay?" She said okay with tears in her eyes. I got back home and told him what I said to her. I said I shouldn't have yelled at you. We started talking, but he starts trying to make excuses as to why what I did was worse. I couldn't even take in a lot of it. I just told him our marriage isn't a marriage. What you did and what I did were equally bad and our marriage wasn't good before all this. I'm not mad at you. It all makes sense now. It's like I finally got the answer to why you haven't been affectionate towards me. I'm not mad, just done. And you've obviously been done as well, and that's okay. He continued being mad and left. I checked his laptop. There are videos of him and that girl plus another girl from 2021 and another girl from the end of 2019. The past 3 years makes sense now. So basically karma is undefeated. I deserve this. I'm crushed. This wasn't how I thought my marriage would go. I'm so broken I feel physically numb. But I also feel like I knew my marriage was over and I should have just called it. But instead I became something I never wanted to be and did things I shouldn't have, and now look. That's why I can't be mad at him. How could I? But him trying to be mad at me. It's probably just his pride. Not expecting him to react to things correctly this fresh. But yeah, it's over. Not sure what I will be doing in terms of our living situation, but yeah, it's over. I'm sad, I'm ashamed, and just stunned at how everything has fallen apart. And there's nothing I can do about it but be better in the future. I will try talking to my husband again. I just want us to be fine. The marriage is over. We both did wrong, but I don't hate him. We just held on when we should have let go. I'm sorry this was so long. I'm emotional and hope this update was clear. I will answer whatever questions there are. Again, thank you.
If you like the story, hit the like and don't forget to subscribe the channel, and thanks for watching.